Good evening. Tonight's story is called Sally Stitch, and I'm sure some of you remembered this story back in the day when it was a chain letter. I'm gonna read it to you. Let's see if you guys remember. Let's begin. A girl named Ashley sat alone in her apartment, bored. She was unemployed and she couldn't pay the bills with the little money she had left. Her TV was broken and none of her friends were online, so she had nothing to watch and no one to talk to. Suddenly, she had an idea. She went to her email and started typing this. Long ago, there lived a little girl in a small town that was at the foot of a mountain. She was very shy and awkward and had no friends. Her hair always hung in front of her face, which gave her a strange appearance, which made the villagers dislike her more. One day, on her way home, all the children in town cornered her while she was walking. They started throwing rocks at her and calling her names. But the children suddenly stopped, because the little girl raised her arm up and pointed to one of the boys. "You will die in 3 days," she said. The kids got scared and ran off screaming. 3 days later, the boy unexpectedly started vomiting blood. He died before he reached the hospital. Soon the little girl started announcing more of the villagers' deaths, and they would all die on the predicted date. A wave of panic and fear swept over the town. So the remaining villagers had a meeting in the town hall. After an hour, they had finally decided. The next day, the young men in the village led the little girl into a mine. As soon as they were out of sight, they grabbed her and led her into a secret chamber. They tied her arms, chest, legs to a chair, and one of the men got out a rusty sewing needle. He then grabbed her lips and started sewing them together, so she could never foretell another death. Then they left her in the chamber and sealed the mine forever. If you don't want the little girl to appear by your bed tonight, send this to 12 people and the sender. If you don't, she will appear by your bed tonight with a needle in her hand. Ashley smirked to herself and hit the send button. The next day she received 12 emails from her friends. All were the same chain letter she had sent. She saw them and laughed to herself. I can't believe they actually believe it. Pathetic. She logged off her computer, laughing out loud to herself. Then she brushed her teeth and went to bed. But in the middle of the night, she woke up with a cold sweat. She heard a girly giggle in the corner, but no one was there, so she turned to go back to sleep. Then, standing there was a little girl with long black hair covering her face. She looked at Ashley with her cold gray eyes, and her hands were behind her back. Her face slowly broke into a mischievous smile, and she revealed her arms from behind her back and started giggling. In her hand was a rusty needle. I hope you enjoyed that story. I will be reading more of the suggestions in the comments. And yeah, stay spooky.